you so much, members of the public. It's another wonderful day that the okay.
The Lord has made.
Indeed, it is the Lord that has made it. So this is the moment that we've been waiting for, whereby I'm hosting two intellectually able members of this part of the world, and it never happens so often. So it never happens so often to have Nangami Namasakha and Harrison Mumia, the president, on the same platform to discuss and talk about these serious matters. And today we'll be having a conversation. I believe it will be indeed be a blissful conversation. So Nangami, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Harrison,
thank you for having the president.
The president of the
Atheists in Kenya Society.
Absolutely. I'm not going to ask you this question again because we already did some time back. That why don't you believe in God? All that.
Yeah.
We already did. But I want to start from your show with Obina.
Oh yes.
You were asked something about Jesus, which I did not ask you on my show. But for some reason, you were cut off. Did you feel offended?
I was very offended.
Did he give you a platform to express your...
No. He just cut me off. Obina did not like what I was saying for his own reasons. I don't know the reasons.
Okay.
Because why do you cut me off when you've invited me to a podcast?
Did he know who you are?
Obina knows who I am. So Obina knows. Yeah, I think the problem is my own thinking was that Obina's audience is what he was protecting. He did not want me to explain why I don't believe in God. And by the way, I really don't have a problem with that because I'm a student of communication from Daystar University. I'm one of the more highly educated people in Kenya.
I know. And
I'm also very philosophical.
You are an IT guru.
So I'm also an IT guru, yeah.
Yes.
So I think what I normally do in this kind of situation, you understand that Obina has an audience. And maybe most of his audience is religious. And if it is...
But he knew that he was inviting Harrison Mumia, who is the president.
Yeah, but you see, with these things of religion,
or he invited you to talk about the IT.
When you start talking about real issues about religion, it creates a lot of discomfort in a lot of people. People become very uncomfortable
and very emotional.
And I think Obina, when the conversation started becoming deep, when we got deep into the issues, and when I started explaining why I think religion is something that is not factual, it is not based on known truths, I think he got uncomfortable. And I think I wanted to write him a letter. Kumwambia Obina, come on, just let's have this conversation again. But I thought about it and said maybe he's protecting something, and I don't know what that is. My own thing is maybe he's protecting an audience. I don't know.
Nangami, I want you to delve into this particular matter, whereby I invite you to this show, and then I ask you a question on something, yet I knew that Nangami is doing womb healing. The moment you start talking about womb healing, then I cut you off. How does that actually work in issues of public speaking and appearances and such kind of things? Do you think that maybe the son of a woman here was disrespected?
Yeah. It's Harrison is very, very okay, especially in his submission, because from a communication perspective, which I think you have asked the very right question, and it is, if you know who I am, then why would you invite me and then want to gag in terms of the questions that you want to ask? So usually, for me, it speaks of two things. Either there was no thorough background research that was done to know who was coming on the show and what they stand for and what they are going to say, because I think with every podcast, even with this, it's just the opinions that are given by a guest are not
not necessarily my opinion. Like I've hosted him before, and there are some things that he mentioned in my show. It definitely does not represent what I believe in. Yes.
But so from a communication perspective, there's something called emotional intelligence, and I know obviously Mumia is aware of that, which is the ability to read the room. And I think from his submission is that perhaps with the host, he was able to read his room at that moment and figured that it was more detrimental to continue the show than to cut it. For his own personal reasons. Either to keep an image, either to keep a particular narrative in one or the other, but either way it was very disrespectful, especially to the guest. Then why do you think that he was invited? Was maybe to see the marvels of the studios, or to what exactly, as in why was he invited? Sometimes you can invite a guest and you want them to come and surprise about maybe the technologies that you're using, the kind of cameras that you've recently bought, something like that. I'm hopeful that I'm also not being disrespectful to. He's somebody I know that is doing a good job. He has done a good job with Vurugu and a lot of other things that he has done for this country and the young people. So I'm not being disrespectful to him. I'm just concentrating on this particular matter. Go ahead. I wouldn't know why he was invited and then gagged and not to speak his mind. I don't know. Then I think, like the way Mumia has said, that's only reasons known to the host. I wouldn't know why that would be the case, because the understanding would be if you bring someone to the show. I'm so sure that so many people who've been brought to the show who have been vulgar and they have said, things.
Things that
but they have been given the opportunity to do so. Or they underestimated Mumia.
Or they didn't expect that Mumia would take that direction. So no, Mumia, the same question that were asked there and were gagged not to say it, I want you to just give the audience, because I believe that Obina's audience are here in Kenya. They're the same people curious about this, and I've been talking to them on the street, and they're curious to hear what you wanted to say. Have those people reached out to you to actually confirm what did you want to say? Have you gotten that?
A lot of people on Facebook said Obina gagged Mumia. That was not fair, including, by the way, Christians. They were like, you should have given him chance to talk. I think the point where I was gagged is where I brought in the whole idea of Jesus being a sort of a prophet of war.
Why do you say that? Why do you quote Jesus Christ to Professor War?
At that point where I said this, that's why I was cut off. And why I was saying that is because...
Are you feeling apologetic?
No, I'm not apologetic, because my position is, if you look at the character of Jesus, Jesus to me was a kind of guy who was very, very could pull crowds.
Why are you calling him a guy?
A guy, because he was a guy. he was a guy. He was not.
You're feeling like
no, he wasn't the son of anybody like God or something. He was not the son of a deity. But he was a person who, in my view, was like prophet of war. Now, what do I mean by that? He claimed to be able to perform miracles.
But he did.
In fact, the reason, no, he didn't.
He did. He turned water into wine, and people had fun. You see, he got to a point where he said that, party is almost over. Why? There's no wine. Let the party go on, man.
So there are so many people who have claimed to be able to perform miracles, and even today. If you look at why I use Prophet War, because he's the one who claims to be able to heal the sick. He calls people to his crusades and then says, come, this is a healing crusade. Bring all your sick people here. So Jesus was that kind of person, and he was able to pull crowds. And again, if you look at the Bible, he claimed to be the Son of God. He claimed to be the one who was sent to redeem that time the people in the Middle East. And
not the world. He was supposed to come and save the world.
But
that's what the word says.
If somebody wants to save the world, they should move around the world, not in one small place in the Middle East.
Well, during that time, maybe there were no people around that much. Maybe.
How do you save the world and then you're just like you have 12 people from one place? But anyway, the point is this:
yes,
that his claims, healing the sick, raising people from the dead, and these are documented in the Bible.
Yes,
I don't, as a person, I don't believe those are true claims. They never happened.
He never even walked on water.
He never walked on water, simply because now we understand
you're
that
looking at gravity or something.
No human being is actually able to walk on water. I mean, we all know.
Yes,
I don't know when it comes to religion.
No human being is able to, but Jesus Christ is
the
able
problem
to.
with religion.
Yes.
Religion creates, it creates these supernatural concepts, and when you start to question them, when you start asking how does somebody walk on water, they will tell you he's the Son of God. And that is why Christopher Hitchens, is it Christopher Hitchens? One of the philosophers who was also an atheist. There are quite a number. There are philosophers who are saying that religion is designed to make you to fear to ask questions. So the moment God is brought into the equation, so God did it, so don't ask how it happened. And that's one of the tragedies of this idea of just having a deity and books that promote the idea that there are miracles. And when you ask how can somebody walk on water, how can water turn into wine magically? Those things don't happen in normal life. But it's only in religion where you're told, no, you as long as there's a God, it happened. And that to me is just like telling us, don't think. When it comes to the religion, just accept, don't question, don't think, don't ask. That is Jesus and that is God.
Yes.
And I think that's really sad.
Okay,
that's
Nangami,
really sad.
Jesus, Harrison is saying that Jesus is more of a prophet of war. What do you make of that? Do you also believe that Jesus Christ was just like a prophet of war?
From his explanation, I think it makes sense, because I don't think he has said anything that is derogatory. It's just to explain how they are linked together in terms of pulling crowds, the ability to people to come, because Jesus did the same thing, bring the sick to me and I will heal them, and I'm able to perform miracles, just the way he has explained it. And so that makes sense. But I think because you see, the thing about religion, which Mumia has talked about, is that people defend God more than God is able to defend himself. So people get offended when people question God, because we have I listened to when you're interrogating him and said, this is Jesus. And my question even to you would be, do you have any proof that he was the Son of God, or are you also going off on what you have been taught since you were a child?
Yes, what I've been taught since I was a child.
Yes.
I believe that Jesus Christ was the Son of God.
It's a belief, it's not a knowing.
Yeah, amen.
It's not a knowing. And what he has just said, if that Bible God was universal, if he was for the whole world, then things would be happening outside of Israel. But it's because this is just, it's like the gods of our ancestors. It's like Olodumare, it's like Nyasaye, it's like Ngai, God of a particular territory, and the culture and the people and how they believed it. And then someone somewhere decided, which is Paul, maybe we will talk about it later, then they decided to deify Jesus the man. But he is very right. And especially if you interrogate, because Mumia is well right, if you interrogate the scholarly work, Jesus was a man. He was just
a man like
he was a man. He was a man who there are so many things that people kept on. Okay, listen to this. Jesus dies, and then his story is written like 30 years later. So if it's like today, Prophet Oro dies, and then people start writing about what he said in 1993 or in 1996, 30 years ago. 30 years ago, that is when someone is telling us now, from 1996, this is what he said. And that is why even people who question, they will keep on telling you that the accounts are very different from the different gospels. Now, even if I go deeper into that, you
go a little deeper.
You understand that Paul
patient.
wrote, which I think we discussed the other time, Paul wrote before even the other writings are being made, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. Like Paul writes, Paul comes and finds Jesus already died, most of the disciples are old, but he's able to write and say that I met Jesus and he spoke to me, and it's only things that Paul says. And when Paul says that he saw, then people take it as gospel truth, and that's what we have been told up until today.
Yeah.
So yes, I do believe what Mumia has said, and I think the problem is we have deified, personified, and put Jesus on a pedestal, that it becomes very difficult, and I think that is where he was God, becomes very difficult, especially to question religion. But the good thing is that we are here to question certain beliefs.
Yes. So now, actually, that is the topic that we are talking about today. Yeah? That we are trying to question those sacred beliefs. And there's this question that's coming out, that there is truth and there is belief. Do you, Harrison, go first? What do you find is the difference between the two? And I don't know whether you did my homework. You can remember the other time when we left the conversation, I gave you homework to do. I told you that in foxholes there are no atheists.
Oh yeah, you said that.
So you are supposed to answer me that wakati mmeshikana pale mko ndani ya shimo, everybody is fighting for their lives. Kama Ukraine, au masoldiers wako pale, everybody na bunduki yake.
Yeah.
Yes, pale ukisikia twa unasema how does the atheist respond at that point? Oh my God, that one I almost I've been to Singapore. I've been invited to Singapore. I was on a plane for 10 hours.
Okay. And of course, when you're on a plane, chances are something could happen, and it goes down.
Sometimes you feel like the shaky,
or there's
oh my God, that one.
Yeah, or there's a lot of turbulence, and then something happens,
or
and you're like, maybe it's about. Yeah, but I think the thing is this.
Yes.
Me personally, I think I've come to the point where I have a relationship with death. It is not something that I am really, really scared of. I don't think I feel like maybe if I die through a process like cancer, that would be really painful. But when I'm on a plane, I'm not always like, I'm not always like, now God should now come into this equation and Jesus. No. I think for me, I look at life from a more realistic perspective, that we are not. My father died of cancer, so for me, death is not that thing that I'm scared of. But let me tell you something. The way human beings are, because the nature of how we live, we want to live forever, and we want to live forever. And you know what religion did? Because of that, religion created a heaven and told you're not going to die and just die. You will die and resurrect and live forever. Says that. And then it even creates a heaven that is so good.
Yes.
No suffering, a lot of food. I don't know why food, why people who have died need.
But I don't think there is food. There's a milk and honey.
There's milk and honey. That is food.
Is a diet that I don't know.
It's food. Hiyo ni chakula bwana. And I
mean, you take milk and honey. Yes, sir.
I take honey
for supper, for dinner, let's say, for example.
Yeah, but again, the curiosity with the obsession with milk and honey in heaven is something we can discuss another day. But the point for me is a lot of people see death as a bad thing. There are countries which have actually passed laws where if you're very sick and there is no the doctors can't get you back to being like normal. You are in a coma for an extended period of time. Unadungwa tu sindano and
mercy killing.
Mass is called mercy killing, or euthanasia. Yes. So these are societies which are saying nobody should suffer for extended periods of time when we all know that there is no other way. All right. And so I think people should create a relationship with death, and that's why I'm even encouraging people write a will. That's one way of doing it. Write a will. If you have a lot of wealth, let it be known how that wealth will be distributed. Number two, prepare for your death. As a society, what we are doing, we are we are encouraging people to even write how they want to be buried, exactly how they want to be buried. It's not a bad thing. If you want to be buried, you want to be cremated, you want your ashes thrown in the ocean, those can be written down. Get a lawyer to
some of our communities don't accept that.
But I think we need to start having a relationship with death.
Nangami, so there's a thin line between belief and truth, right?
Yes.
Is this a very, very thin line between belief and truth? And
I'll talk about truth later as well.
Yes, and as well, when you deconstruct or you are questioning these things, is it some form of disrespect? Or how is our society designed? Can you just explain for us that thin line between the two? And yes.
So you say the good thing about deconstruction is that it's about questioning the beliefs. Because you wake up and then you are told that you are, for instance, my name is Rachel, so you're Rachel Mercy, and you have no understanding of what that name is. I've never met anyone who can tell me what Rachel means. But the moment I go to my people and I tell them about Nangami, people from my community will tell you, from the Bukusu community, they will tell you what Nangami means. They'll tell you what Masakha means. But I have never met anyone who would tell me what Rachel means. And even if I told them what Mercy means, it's just an English word for something that means, huruma in Swahili and the rest of it. So we woke up and then we were told this. And then we were told this is how you dress, this is how you go, this is where you worship, and this is how God looks like. And then we had photos of Jesus Christ on the walls, and then we had conversations about now heaven and the milk and honey and the rest of it. And then now when you grow, you start to question things because things don't make sense. First of all, you see what the God of the Old Testament and the God of the New Testament, how they look. And then you're told today that God does not contradict himself. But then again, when you read the book, it is incredibly contradictive. It contradicts itself. So you start to question those things. Then there are certain things then you begin to see that okay, you question, even the African men can start to question that all of these people that we follow, the angels have English names, they look white, they are all of these things. Then people begin to question, like, did this God have us in mind? And when you question that, then you begin to realize that was this God very much having favorites? Which then does not make sense, especially when you explained about the concept of a God.
So the favorites are the Israelites now,
yes,
in this case.
Yes, the favorites are the Israelites. They are the God's chosen. They're God's chosen. So because they are chosen, they're the ones to whom...
They can do anything in Lebanon and nobody asks a question.
Beyond that, besides that, they are the people to whom God comes. Or God comes through Jesus, who is Hebrew, and or the Jews and whatnot. So when you look at the father of religion, which is Abraham, that's why they're called Abrahamic religions. When you come from Abraham all the way to Jesus Christ and everybody else, it's just happening in that tiny little nation. It's happening there. And you begin to ask yourself, why didn't God speak to some Chinese man somewhere in the burning bush in China? Why didn't we have some prophet somewhere?
Was there China
in Zulu?
at that time?
Yes.
China was there?
Yeah, people have always existed. People have existed before what these things. The Bible is 6,000 years old. African civilization is known to have gone, or at least people, like over 300,000 years. And these are things that have been proven. When we go to school, and that is why there are questions that why do I read this in CRE and then why do I read this in science? Why are they different? And then people start questioning, how is it that people are coming, a woman is coming from a man's rib, something that has never happened. Then we start questioning Genesis 1 and Genesis 2. The gods who are creating in Genesis 1 and Genesis 2 are two different gods. So you begin to ask yourself, why is the difference? Because there's a God who creates animals first, then human beings. Then there's a God who creates human beings, then creates animals. So once you read, you begin to question, why is this happening? And then you go deeper into research. That's when you're able to deconstruct and realize that we went to church and then people started preaching to us and telling us things that just didn't make sense. And then the miracles that only happened then and then cannot happen now, can never be replicated. They only happened in the scriptures. People walked after Jesus resurrected 500 people. It has not been documented anywhere else other than in the Bible.
But Prophet Owuor has done some miracles.
Which ones? Which ones that can be verified?
You didn't see the HIV?
That can be verified by
the
people
HIV, the doctors
outside.
were there.
You see, it's doing the same thing that Mumia was saying. The verification is done by his own people.
But
have we had no, we want outsiders, bringing independent, global, high-class individuals to come and verify. Go randomly into an institution and then just do the thing. Let us see it.
I think that the biggest challenge for Prophet Owuor, I did a statement, and I was challenging Prophet Owuor to walk into Kenyatta Hospital. We don't even need to verify. We just need him to walk into Kenyatta Hospital. We have doctors there.
Yes, and take bed number ward
so we say
5
like this,
2.
this is a cancer patient. Tuweke Prophet Oor hapo. And the next morning it is easy for the doctors to verify whether the cancer is healed.
Usimjaribu Mungu wako. Unajua hiyo kwenye kwa Biblia pale.
Yeah, and that's why
do
I'm
not
saying,
try your God.
remember I told you the
That's
whole
Jesus
idea of
Christ,
religion
yeah?
is that it is so protected from inquiry
Yes.
that this thing is just so annoying. Can you imagine you have there's a whole book and you're being told this is the word of God, and then you're being told don't question it. Soma hii kitabu lakini vitu ziko ndani usiulize. You know, that's like really annoying, especially if you're a person who is like you question a lot of things. This let me tell you something. Just the fact that we as Africans we are allowing religious leaders to stop us from questioning religion is something that should annoy a lot of people. Because the reason why do we go to school? The idea of going to school is so that
you expand your intellectual capacity, you're able to see things differently.
Hapa nje you can actually test some ideas. Even me, I did IT.
Yes.
And when you come out here, things are changing every day.
Yes.
So you have to keep learning.
You can look at the AI. Have you spoken to the owner of AI? Yeah.
No, AI has no. You know, Ruto should just hire some of us.
So Nangami, it means that we are going to school, but we are not testing our intellectual capacity because the religion seems like it is clogging all that.
Yes, and I don't think that is how it's supposed to be, because I'm thinking if God is all powerful, he has no problem being questioned, because the truth will stand for itself. The truth is the truth, and it doesn't need defense. So we will all come to the same conclusion. I have a child myself, and there are certain questions that...
Congratulations.
Yes, thank you.
Yes.
And there are certain... But he's very old, so congratulations is 15 years late. But if my child was to ask a question, I would not, no matter how uncomfortable it is. So say, for instance, my child today asked, why is it that you and dad did not end up together? Right? It's a very uncomfortable conversation.
It is.
But it requires truth. I'm not going to be beating about it and say, I'm your mother as long as I'm paying your school fees, you're under my roof, you follow my rules, don't ask me any questions.
I'm telling him about that.
I'm providing for you. Yes, I am a mother and I'm your mother, I'm taking care of you. This is grown people things, you shouldn't question. No. I would like him to question, and then there are certain truths that perhaps when he's grown, then I'll be able to tell him. Yes, I can be mature enough to give him that discussion. But I'm not closing that door, because I have no problem being questioned, number one. Number two, I know that I'm a human being and I'm incredibly flawed. There are certain things that my son has seen me do when he's growing up, and he's able to pick up on those, and I should be able to have conversation with that and say, on this part I failed. But now you see the thing with religion is that even when you see things go wrong, the mess that we see in this world, and I think I was even talking about it today, like the creator, if there is a creator, it went for a walk. It's out there, doesn't want to be bothered. And that is why people are here messing up. There's wars, there's all of these things. Someone is grabbed, someone is going to rob someone, and nobody's going to interfere. You walk on the road, go to a highway, and don't look left and right. You'll be hit by a truck, and the cops will come to...
I'm a consumer of your content, because you sometimes you speak truth to power.
Right.
Some people are mistaking this sifu na ati sifu na usichoke, na mimi nasema sifu na usichoke. So now there's something you said that religious people are so intolerant.
Yes, religious people are intolerant.
Yes.
Because
what did you mean by that?
No,
are we not tolerant?
No, the religious people are not tolerant.
I'm religious.
Number one, they invade spaces. So they invade spaces. We can be here talking about our own, perhaps he can be speaking about atheism, I can be speaking about African spirituality, and then they'll come and say Jesus Christ is Lord.
Or they come there and say Jesus
they will come and say God is enough. All of these things that people are talking about.
In your comment section.
Yes,
for
not even in the comment section, just in real life. In real life. We are here having a good time. Someone is going to come up with a microphone up there and start telling people about Jesus Christ. It's polluting our space.
I heard there's a time the Atheist Society was looking for some sponsorship for their church. As in, mulikuwa mefungiwa rent, sindio? And they were looking for some funding. Then somebody said that take it to God in prayer. Did you hear?
Did you hear that?
Yeah, we heard that. It was all over the place. And the
Yes.
thing is this. I must...
Did you take it to God in prayer?
You know what? They use it as a way of mocking us. So if something bad happens to the society or we go broke, they say, you know, now can we pray for you to get money? You know, they use it like it's a mockery. Now God can come in and help you.
Yes.
And even when I was arrested by this Ruto regime,
you told me that time, right?
Yeah. People were people are saying now God, I should now turn to God because now is a sort of a punishment. But you see, the thing is, this is a real world. In a real world, you actually don't need God. In a real world,
I know. Don't you need God?
You don't need God in a real world because we are operating on, you know, natural laws. These are things which we experience every day. We are also human beings, meaning we are also biological. There is energy that we need. That's why we need food. The fact that we are here is because our bodies have consumed food and now we have the energy to do what we are doing. So I think what normally happens is there is this concept of God will offer you a solution to a certain problem. And this is, unfortunately, again, us as an African society, that is something my own mom prays for me. And, you know, he calls me and says, I am putting you in prayers, my son. And, you know, me, I know prayers don't work. In my heart, I know that's a waste of time, all right? And I've said many times, prayer is a waste of time. If you want to do something, do it and wait for the outcomes. If you are sick, go to hospital. If you're looking for a job,
you haven't ever prayed and God answered. Nangami, have you ever prayed to God either to? But let's start this way, that you believe there is no God, but at least you believe there is a supreme being. Us African spirituality will believe that, right? You've ever prayed and eventually you got the relief.
So for me, when I pray, I don't pray to God, because for us. When it comes to African spirituality, we have an absent God. We have an absent God.
Talk to us through that. An
absent God is there's a God that does not interfere. So God does not interfere in our day-to-day. You see, the thing about you praying and God answering is an Abrahamic thing, that it's something that only happens in Abrahamic religions. So because perhaps you're coming from a place of the religious indoctrination, so people are hell-bent on the idea of praying to a God or praying to... So for us, God does not intervene. He does not interfere. He does not tell us what to wear, who to marry, where to eat. Like those are things that are designed or at least discovered by culture. We're the ones who sit and say, for instance, for us, the Luyas, we say mother-in-law, father-in-law should not, mother-in-law and son-in-law should not be in the same room. That is not something that was said by God. But if it was written, someone would say, God said that this is how you're supposed to live, and your mother-in-law and father-in-law, daughter-in-law, father-in-law should not be in the same room.
So it's all about social order.
It's just culture that people come, it's tradition. Those are just traditions. And by and large, the Abrahamic religions are built on the Jewish cultures. And that is why they had different ways of operation. So when it comes to us in African spirituality, we have connection to ancestry, connection to land, connection to community, and then also to nature, to everything that is around us. So we don't live in isolation. We don't live separate from like we are part of everything. We just didn't land here and we are special and we're just supposed to live. No, take care of the trees, take care of the land, because these trees, if I was to stand there and I were to fart, I would give it carbon dioxide, it would give me oxygen, because that's what it does.
Yes.
It's an exchange. That there are different things, and that is why if we cut down the trees, no rain. Now we are talking about climate change and the rest of it. So that is the understanding of living in nature. So that concept of a God that is supreme, that is sat on a throne, and then it's like a puppet master, is only in Abrahamic religions. If you look at all the other religions, Buddhism, Hinduism, and the rest of it, even when they have the concept of the gods, they don't say it like it is the ultimate, like this is the creator. We know that this is the creator of the universe and the rest of it. The world is so complex for us to be able to explain the infinite. We have not yet been able to explain the finite. We can't explain our own bodies how we function, let alone sitting around and
Actually, the
thinking.
brain.
Even the
The
brain,
brain, how
the
the brain
functioning
works.
of the brain.
Yes.
Till today, scientists are still coming up with new insights about neurology and everything, and that's the brain alone. I'm so sure 100 years from today, they will come up with things about the eyes. Now people will be like, oh, the
The
power
eyes is
of
also
the
complex.
eyes. Yes, the power of the eyes, the power of the teeth, the power of the breasts. Like all
Something
of
we
that.
discovered about the womb again.
Yes, and the womb. All of these
Yes.
things are going to come up, later, and then we begin to realize that, this is so. Can you imagine if we stop focusing on this, on what
Yes.
we have, and then we start focusing on who was the first man on the planet, where did we come from? You have 40, 50, 70 years to live on this planet to want to spend time to figure that out when you haven't figured your own life and how you move. It is not my responsibility to know whether it exists or not. I am here to do my work. I'm here to live life, to enjoy life. If that thing exists, then it will sort itself out. Because if that thing was fair and it wanted us, all of us, to know, we would have one universal understanding of it. The fact that we are debating, it is there, it is not there, we are agnostic, we are atheists, we are theists, it just means that all of us are just going off on what we are saying, we think we know, we believe, but we don't fully know, because we don't know what we don't know.
Yeah. So you still believe that it doesn't exist, or you are held in the fence that you're not sure whether it does or it doesn't?
For me, I do believe there is something that is responsible for everything being here.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I believe that there's
You
the cosmos.
you believe there is some supreme energy that is responsible
Power,
for
yes.
for Mumia, Harrison Mumia.
No, Mumia is here because of his parents. Mumia is here because of his mother. I can tell you for free that Mumia was created by his mother.
Nangami
and
believes
his
that
father.
there is a supreme being.
You know what?
He's now putting it well in
If
a
you-
manner
if
that
you-
I believe
if
that you want to
you-
change your mind and now believe at least that there's a supreme being, and it's not like there is totally nothing.
Yeah, if you personally, I am an atheist. What atheism is, atheism rejects the idea that there is God.
So you've just
Right.
held that position, and
Yeah.
nobody's as in, don't want anybody to push you out of it.
It's
Even
not
when
just a
Nangami is
position.
trying
I
as
mean,
hard as she's.
this idea of God again is a creation of human beings. So when I say we are rejecting the idea, the claim has been made by the Christians and the Muslims. So it's a claim that when I was growing up, had there not been Christianity, I would not have known about the Bible. Had I not been introduced to it, had my mom not told me about Jesus, had I not been taken to church by my parents, I would not be knowing about all this Christianity and things. And the people who are in Saudi Arabia, same to them. Had they not been brought up in that environment, they'd be talking about something very different today. So these are things which are socially constructed. Now, we have, then the question becomes, how did we get to where we are? Where did we come from? How did the universe come into being? My position
How did
is,
it come to be?
how did it
complex.
come to be?
Yes.
My position has been more leaning towards what science has discovered and where we are with science.
Why do you have to believe in that science? You've never been to space, right?
Science is not something to be believed in. Science,
Have you ever been to space?
I've never been to space.
Have you ever seen that spacecraft?
No.
But we believe that they go to space. and they
But I
come
mean, so here's the thing. We have a lot of information of how nature operates today.
Very
There's
good
a lot of
information.
knowledge on how things work. I normally say you don't have to be a cancer patient for you to know that cancer is bad. You don't know to. We now have information where people have done their studies and they are sharing this information. So where I was going with that is, I normally like looking at knowledge in terms of what we have discovered so far. And where we are, I think, even in the scientific community, is that we really don't know how life began, right? I was watching at this documentary, I was watching a conversation by Richard Dawkins, who is one of the huge biology scholars. And where we are is that we know that we evolved up to where we are. We know that evolution is responsible for a lot of the diversity of life. But the fact is, nobody has been able to explain scientifically how life began. And again, for me, I'm always comfortable with saying I really don't know. When you ask me, how did everything begin? I as Mumia, I don't know. I have no knowledge of how we got here. Now, there are claims that are being made by everybody. But as Mumia, you know, I look at those claims and I'm like, okay, so where am I? And I'm saying, no. I personally, I don't know how the universe began. And I'm okay with that, because the other problem I have is, must we know everything? Must you know everything? Do you know everything even?
No, I don't think it is possible for
it's not possible to know everything.
Yes.
And if you look at this lifespan of human beings, we are here for only 80 years, 90, 100.
But at least know some have some technical know-how.
What I'm saying is, to understand the universe, and I'll tell you something. You saw this spacecraft that went to the moon just the other day.
Yes.
Artemis 2. Was it Artemis 2 or Artemis 3? Artemis 2.
Yes.
It went to the moon. It was in space. For the first time, they actually showed us the live coverage of from the time it was launched to the time it was in space. It took 72 hours, traveling at speeds of 20,000 miles per hour. Those are very high speeds. So to get to the moon, and the moon is like our closest celestial body. So if you think about now Mars, think about Pluto, then think about other
you break
think about
it to
the Milky
galaxies.
Way.
Yes.
We as human beings, I don't think we will ever come to understand how all these things came to be. We are simply too minute in this.
We might even be part of a motherboard. Maybe we just a small right?
So kuna vitu zingine, it's okay to say mi sijui. Me personally, if you ask me where the universe began, how it began, I don't know, because I don't know.
But now that you don't know, maybe somebody else has taken time to look at it, and now they saying that they might be knowing, and they might be wanting to tell you something.
The scientific community is stuck at theories. It is stuck at the primordial soup. So there is this theory of there was soup, and then all these elements came together, and then there was life. There is also this idea that during the formation of Earth, there was a lot of bombardment between Earth and other planets,
there's a lot of
and then elements of
So Nangami, there is he says that he actually does not know, and it is not possible for us to know everything. Is there a possibility that spirituality, somebody can disregard matters, spirituality, the supreme being, and still just live a decent life?
Yes, it is possible. It's not necessary. It's totally unnecessary.
Then you're doing things that are not necessary.
Yeah, it's not necessary for you to believe. You don't have to believe.
Okay.
Because you see, we are 8 billion people, and as people who have gone to school, you realize that all of us cannot want the same thing.
Yes.
All of us cannot want the same thing. All of us cannot do the same thing.
So this is part of the variety.
So it's something to say that 8 billion people would want to worship the same way. They want to believe the same thing. They want to do similarly. No, it's impossible. Yes, it is possible for you to love your family, for you to be ethically upright. It is possible for you to create meaningful work without having to believe in anything. And you see that people will come and live very meaningful life, and then they will depart and go to wherever people go when they die. Yeah.
So what is this that African spirituality is offering that Islam, Christian, Buddhist, and all that they are missing out? What is it that they are not offering that African spirituality is?
It's not a competition.
Okay.
Because African spirituality is not competing with the religion. It's not saying I am the best one. You see, the way religion usually says that we have the God. Us here we have the true God.
Kama mimi ni mwesdie na Mungu wa Sabato. Nakwambia wewe kwanza, wewe utaweza kuchomeka. Kwanza wewe nakwambia wewe sasa wewe Maranatha. Sema Yesu yuaja. Nikisema Maranatha unasema Yesu yuaja.
Let me just
Maranatha.
say I really appreciate African spirituality as Nene. I prefer Africans who talk of African spirituality than the ones who follow Abrahamic religions. It's not a competition, but you see, if you look at Africans, the unfortunate thing that happened is that when the colonialists came to Africa, they made our beliefs look unacceptable and bad.
Yes.
And they actually made them...
Just hold that point. I had nilimkata short. Yes,
Okay.
I just want you to just give us that overview.
I think
what is it that we are
it's not a
short?
competition. You see, African spirituality is about ancestry. It's about interconnectedness. It's about family, land, community. Because we did not get here by none of us.
It's not by chance.
None of us here is an original copy.
We are duplicates.
Yes, you're duplicates.
What are you talking about?
None of us here is an original copy.
As a WABs ever existed in this world?
Yes.
I'm a very clear copy of myself.
You have ever existed because that is why science will tell you that for a child to be formed, it's 23 chromosomes from the mother, 23 chromosomes from the father. That's DNA. That's what makes a human being.
Yes.
So that means that you're coming with things from your mother. That's why some of us, we have walking styles like that of our grandfather. We look like, for me, when you see me, you have seen my auntie, my paternal auntie, like I'm her copy. People usually think that we are either sisters or I'm her daughter. So you see, and my walking style is that of my grandmother, my body size is that of, because when you look at me and you look at my sister, coming from the same father, same mother, yet we look different. It's because I took over my father's side, she took over my mother's side. So we are not original copies. We are borrowing from people who have walked and walked and walked. And that is why when you look at your child, when I look at my child, we can see ourselves in them. You can say, hii tabia ni yangu. Hii ni yangu.
Tabia zingine mbwakini hapo na za watu. Huyu.
And you see, they are a hybrid. They become a hybrid.
Or somebody else, they has good
or you can
character
see, you can see your mother in them. You can say, oh, hii tabia is my father. So we are not original copies. We are borrowed. We are, and that is why that generational now understanding, that's why it's called bloodline, and that is why we have things that are transferred through the bloodline, things like even the genes. Now we carry disease from the bloodline, but we also carry gifts from the bloodline, and that is why there are some of us who are incredible musicians, and they can tell you, oh, but I come from a family of musicians. My grandfather, my great grandmother, they were musicians, because that thing was transferred through the bloodline. And there are some of us, no matter how much we try to go to music school, we can't sing, and there's someone who just wakes up and they can sing, and it's
fluently,
a gift. And some of us need to go to school. People like myself, I'm self-taught when it comes to public speaking, and there are people who come to my class, they have read books, and they can't speak to save their lives. And it's because this gift of oration that I have, part of it is coming from my paternal grandfathers. So that understanding that we are carrying something from the bloodline, which I also wanted to extend to what Mumia was saying, African spirituality is better than the Abrahamic religions because it connects you. But if you have to worship a god, then worship something that looks like you. If you must worship, and we don't worship anything, we revere, we honor, we respect, but we don't worship. But the concept of worship is a religious concept. It's something that was, because African spirituality is different from African traditional religion. They are two different things.
What's the difference?
African traditional religion is based on traditions. So they are still holding on to traditions. They have the do's and don'ts. They're the ones who will tell you, oh, by the way, if a woman is on her blood, she cannot come to the shrine if she's on her period. You see, they're still extending that thing. But spirituality is, there's no, you see, spirituality, there's no right or wrong. So when there's no sin. So even in spirituality or African spirituality, if someone was to procure an abortion, we will not say in African spirituality that's wrong or that's a sin. That's branded in religion, because that is just something that you did, that you wanted to do. That's there's no hierarchy. You see, religion, even in African traditional religions, there are certain things that can only be done by the male priests, and the female priestesses can do certain things. It's still part of religion. But spirituality is you connecting to nature. It's you just finding yourself, your true self, and how you move. That's what
form of
spirituality is
yoga
supposed to
where
be.
you just meditate and eventually.
Meditation is Asian. Is a lot. You see, we are mixing, as Africans, we're also mixing a lot of Asian spirituality in part of our, because every nation has its own spirituality. The Asians have their own ways. Let me tell you about the women.
By Asians, you mean the Indians?
The Indians, even the Chinese. The Chinese, the Japanese, the Koreans. Like you'll see that they have their own things that women do. perhaps that they have their own practices and rituals that women do.
Yes.
The Indians have that. Different cultures have that. And then when you ask the Africans, so Africans nowadays, what are you doing? What is it that you hold on to yourself? Africans don't have it. They just have Jesus. That's the only thing that African people do, the African men and the African women do. And you see, spirituality for us is supposed to create meaning. You see, things like love and art and music.
Yes.
These are things that cannot be tested in a lab. You see, not everything. Science explains the physical world. It explains the working of things. But there are certain places where science does not explain it. So for me to look at that thing and saying, wow, that thing is beautiful, and for someone else to look at it and it's the ugliest thing they've ever seen. And for me to listen to music and cry. You can't take me to the lab. You can't ask me, prove it. If I was to ask you, Mumia, do you think I'm beautiful?
She is.
Mumia has to say, Mumia has to say, do you think I'm
Do you
beautiful?
think she's beautiful?
Give his perspective.
Okay, mwambie ukweli, usi hapa watu tu hapa watu.
She's pretty. She's pretty.
Okay.
What's the difference between pretty and beautiful?
She's very pretty. And
But not beautiful, right?
beauty. No,
Yes.
where I'm being a bit
Reluctant.
to talk about it. It's really an abstract concept.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to
Yeah,
ask.
it's a very
That's where I was
abstract
going
concept.
with the question.
It's a very abstract concept. And abstract concepts, because I look at beauty also in terms of a spectrum. There are beauties that are, physical, and also there's also beauty. Like, I really appreciate her intellect. If you ask me, do you think she is intellectually elegant? I would say yes.
Yes. Yeah,
Oh,
because
so,
of her.
let me ask you, do you think I'm beautiful also?
I don't think I know.
Okay. That is where I was going with the question.
Yes.
The question is, two of you can look at me and have different perspective.
Yes.
You cannot touch me with a 10-foot pole. You'll be like, that's not my type. Can't be with that woman. For me, I do a particular kind of woman. And Mumia will be like, yeah. Type yangu sasa ndio hiyo. Nimefika hapa ni home and dry. This is what I usually date. You see, it is and that is not something that you can. It's how we apportion meaning to things, which is something that now he has brought out. It's very abstract.
That away, yeah.
You apportion meaning, and that's how we live in society. We live beyond just facts. And that is how we find our way, and we're able to morph and live with each other, how we see beauty and how we develop meaning in life. And so that is where now our practices come about. So two different people sitting, and you have different perspectives on me or different perspectives on beauty. And this is not something that nobody can take me to the lab and say, okay, now let's prove. We need proof.
This is a standard of beauty.
This is the
now.
standard. No, you can't. But people are able to perceive it, and someone is able to even go out of their way now. Mumia is going to give me his land because now he's head over heels for me, and you have to begin to explain it how someone is able to, and the things that we do, and we even kill for it. How can you be that emotionally attached and connected to people, and
People
you can't
use
even
acid.
begin
People
to
use
explain
acid.
it? Yeah.
There's a point that I don't know whether you lost it. Are you able to pick up from before?
Which there are many things I was saying. So, I think
we're just talking about the truth and the beliefs and.
No,
so
I was
that's
also
when I
saying this
disconnected
issue
you a
of
little
truth. The question of what is true is a very important question when you're looking at this kind of conversation.
Yes.
And really, we only have concepts of truth. And if you look at the epistemology, which is really the study of what is true, we have various concepts of what is true.
Yes.
And I'll give you one concept. People say truth is what is. So if I say, so what can I use? Like, is this a ring? Is this a ring? We can say, is this ring, is it true that it exists? You can say, yes, it exists.
Yes, we can see
But
if we can touch it.
you're saying it exists because it corresponds to reality of what a ring is.
Yes.
That is called the correspondence theory, right?
Yes.
There's also a question of things like, what is a cup? People also look at truth from a perspective of pragmatism, which means that what value does it have for you or another person. So if you say, what is a cup? A cup is that which can hold water. All right, that's a pragmatic, the value of what the cup gives.
Yes.
And also there's also the aspect of coherence.
Yes.
Our general understanding of things like cups is what you define as cup. So truth is also there's no single way of looking at what is true. So what I think is important in life is, as we are proceeding forwards with understanding what life is, are we bold enough to try and seek even more truth, more than what we know? Are we bold enough to question the truths that we are being told today? Are we bold enough to challenge? So that, and Friedrich Nietzsche, who is my favorite philosopher, says we need to challenge our concepts of what we know, our knowledge that we have. And I think the problem with religion is that it has put a full stop on God. It has a full stop on Jesus. There is a full stop on Muhammad, a full stop on Allah.
Yes.
And so it only, then there's the books. There's the Quran and the Bible, and that's it.
Yes.
For the Quran, it's even worse. The Quran is said to be a book that God literally
Gave it like
he gave it to
Muhammad.
But he spoke to Muhammad directly. So Muhammad was sort of just writing down, which never happened. So what I'm saying is, I think for me, because life is always, you're learning something new every day. The better way of approaching life for me is that try to be bold enough to ask yourself, what do I know today? What can I know more than what I know?
Okay.
And Nietzsche talks about it and says we need to be the Superman. In German, they say we need to be the Obermensch. This is the higher being. That being who says, I don't want to be that person who I take knowledge for what it is, but I can go beyond. Beyond. And he writes a book which he talks about beyond good and evil. Yeah. So I think we need to always wake up and ask ourselves, is what I know everything? And I also tell you things like gravity, because I'm a person who loves, science. Gravity in the Newtonian age, in the 17th century, was this thing that an apple falls down, and that force.
Isaac Newton.
Isaac Newton, yes.
Yes.
That an apple falls down, and that force that pulls the apple down is at the center of the earth. That is what we learned in school as gravity.
Is what I know still to this day. Is it not?
It is not that thing changed
What do you
when the German this genius guy who came up with the relativity theory,
Einstein.
Albert Einstein,
came and overturned that entire theory, so that now
How
what
did he-
gravity is
Yes.
the fabric of space-time. And what we learn from Einstein is even what you know as truth today is not likely to be truth in a couple of days. So we need to always be waking up.
But you see,
To learn.
maybe unless if I don't know whether I'm getting it wrong, but Albert Einstein might not have yet proven that this particular force is not pulling items towards the center of the earth, because that's what it is today.
No. Albert Einstein basically says
We just
that
expand our thoughts.
no. He says this that light travels at a constant speed. So what we have for that to happen, the space and time. Remember, he looks at space, time. He looks at space as four-dimensional. So there is the issue of time, and then the three-dimensional space. So what he says, light travels through space at a constant speed. So space and time have to adjust each other for that idea, that equation to work. And I'm challenging you to also look at it. So what he says is that gravity is just basically the space-time fabric. That is what makes it, pulls everything towards bodies, and that is what we call gravity. It's a simple
It's
theory.
a complicated one.
It's a simple theory.
That's why it doesn't.
It is
its
elegant.
difficult
It's
in
very
space.
elegant,
Yes.
but it actually destroys the Newtonian idea of a force being at the center of the earth. But why I'm giving that example, because I know a lot of Kenyans and people who are watching might be like, okay, what are you talking about? So I want to simplify this. The point is, do not imagine that what you know is everything. That the books that explain stuff, they have all the knowledge, especially religious books. They don't contain all the knowledge. And even the gods that we believe in might not exist. So the idea is to always ask yourself, is what I was taught true? And that's very important.
So in African spirituality, Nangami, we kind of look at the ancestors and all that. Why do we exalt our ancestors so much in African spirituality? And why is it that it's not happening the same way in the West or other cultures away from the African spirituality?
Because we have different practices. That's why it's called African. It's not universal.
Yes.
So you see, we operate in societies differently. We are socialized differently, and we can't. We have inferiority complex by and large as Africans. So. If tomorrow the Western people will be talking about, spirituality and talking about ancestors, then Africans will jump on it. It needs to have the white man's. It needs to have a white man's approval. That is why we gravitate a lot towards Plato as the philosopher, Socrates.
Yes.
When you mention that, you look like so sophisticated.
Yes, we gravitate towards those philosophers.
But when we talk about Wanga, then you look like
then
Maponga.
We are not. We don't consider ourselves philosophical, and we don't think that anything good could have ever come from us and our own philosophies. But our societies and our cultures thrived. Because of our own philosophies. We may not have moved the same way the West moved, the same way the Eastern people move, but even the Eastern people have their own philosophies. But I think as Africans, we have that inferiority complex. But moving back to African spirituality, our spirituality it's because it's our way of life. You see, the way we move in the tropics is going to be different from someone who moves where it is very cold. The reason why we exalt our ancestors is also because you see, there's something that is seen and there's something that is unseen. Now we can't speak about the unseen with being definite about it, because then it contradicts the definition, which is the unseen. So if I was to explain to you about the unseen, then it beats the logic. If I was to tell you about our ancestors and that they're in the other world or whatever, then I need to prove, and I can't prove it. That's why it's called spirituality. Because it's called spirit. And in science, by the way, there's no proof of spirit. You can't go and say there's spirit. There's no proof of spirit. We are just a human body. You don't have a spirit. This concept of spirit and soul is something that is that we have to come up, with. So the concept of African spirituality and exalting our ancestors it's not exalting really, but just honoring them, because how we walk is we walk in the way that they walked. The thing is, most of us have experienced some form of supernatural things happening in our lives. That science could not be able to explain it. It just happened. And most of us have those things that have happened in life, and they're like, I don't know how this happened. It could happen in a dream. And African spirituality is very deep. You need to be in it for you to know what it means. Like, there are things that happen in a dream, and you're live in a dream, and you see things happen, and then you wake up the next morning. That's why it's called like deja vu. And you're like, I saw this somewhere, and it was in a dream. And I wake up, I go to bed, and then I don't know anything about Harrison, and then I just feel like I'm going to come here, and then I feel I had a dream that something was going to happen, or he was going to show up in a green t-shirt and whatever, and then he shows up in a green t-shirt. And he does. So you see, there are certain things. And one thing I appreciate about science, that science does not try to claim that it has all the answers. That science also appreciates that there are things that it does not know, and that there are things that happen to people, even sick people, who have gone to the hospital, and then they went back home, they were diagnosed with a terminal illness, they were given several months, and then they came back, they have recovered, and that thing, and it's not because they were prayed for. It's because they went and they did something, and they come back to the hospital, and the doctors are like, we don't know how this happened, because this is beyond science. Even here in Africa, you see, one thing about Africans is that we underestimate. We underestimate ourselves. You see, we come from communities of rainmakers. We come from communities of seers, of mediums, people who are able to do what we might call the impossible, what people might call even miracles. Things have happened. And that is why, even here in Africa, someone will tell you that, hey, kwanza uko kwetu Western, uko kwetu. You will hear, oh, I was driving at night, and then I saw a woman pass, and then she passed, she did not, I saw her, and then I drove 2 hours away, then I saw the same woman. And she was on foot. Yeah. I can't tell how that happened. You see, and we come from, I don't know, Harrison, if you come from...
Harrison, udashaona mambo kama hiyo katika pulse huko.
They're called the night runners. We have the night runners. You come from homes where you wake up in the morning and there was blood that was, someone slaughtered something and they poured it around the whole house, and then things start happening and people start dropping like flies. You see, we call it African spirituality because the white man, when they come and try to study this thing, they will not be able even to understand it. Because we move different, we operate different, and it's in appreciating that, and that's how we meet. So when we talk about our ancestors, it's also us understanding that there are things that we have inherited that we cannot. In our place, we have something called Musambwa.
Musambwa?
Yes. You'll find someone decent like me. No, it's called something. You see someone like me decent. The moment they start doing, I become crazy. Someone starts running and they do things.
What
and you see
those,
and it's called Musambwa. And you see those things. You're not even capable of understanding. You see, you listen to them and you can call them Mazingombwe. You can think that is someone being pretentious or something of the sort. And so African spirituality then just interrogates most of those things and how we live in society and how some things are unique and they go beyond, and how we are not able to explain everything, which I appreciate that we don't know everything. I was explaining, just as I wind up from this conversation, I was explaining it to someone the other day that you see, we don't know what we don't know.
Indeed.
And I think there's someone who wrote about it. It's called I think it's the black swan. It's when we don't prepare for the worst that can ever happen. It's like the black swan effect. It's something that happens in the opposite. Like for instance, COVID was a black swan, right? Nobody planned for it. Nobody saw it. It just appeared, and then it's something that just happened. It's like it caught all of us flat-footed. Nobody would have. Everyone was saying, "This is our year, the year of restoration," and then we went on lockdown the whole year. Right, but even from the religious side, but we don't know what we don't know. So there's a place where we don't know, and we don't know that we don't know.
Yes.
So I was asking the question. You see the way,
which is a very dangerous place to be.
Yes, I was asking the question. You see the way we see cows.
Yes.
You see, cows are only limited to their understanding. The understanding of cow things. I'm a cow. I'm born a cow, and then I will mate, and then I will have someone will mount me. And then we don't have relationships, we don't do marriage, we don't do houses, we don't walk on twos, we walk on fours. If a cow was to see you, to not recognize you as a human being. It does not have that perception of like knowing you're a human being and that you have a podcast and that you're capable of doing this and you can marry and you can work on your computer. Like it's limited to cow stuff, right? And then we have human beings. So take it that to all animals. Then we have lions and we have all of that. They are limited in their level of consciousness and what their capabilities are. They are predators and they are prey. And then you come to the human beings. So the human beings are the people who we think now we are more conscious, we can speak, we have language, we can build things, we can do all of these things. So I was saying to someone, if you were to take a cow and put it before the Burj Khalifa, it is not capable of seeing the Burj Khalifa.
To even fathom that actually this
is one of the beautiful things that humanity has been able to do. It cannot be able to. It's right in front of it, and the lion will just walk, shoop, just across the Burj Khalifa, not look and wonder like, wow, look at what the human beings have been able to do. And it's just going to walk right past because that's where it's limited. It's not able to consume everything else we have done. So for me, I wasn't saying that I was aware, but I was questioning that. And I was saying, what if for us, with all this intellect that we have, it's not the ultimate intellect? That there's something that is more intelligent than we are. I'm not calling it a god, but I'm saying that what if also us, we are walking in this planet and we're like the cows? That there's things that are right in front of our eyes here.
But we can't see.
We can't be able to see it, and it's super intelligent, which now brings us to we don't know everything, and I think it is dangerous for us to try and think that we are the ultimate, considering to even what Mumia has talked about. When you see the sun, the moon, and everything that is in space, and maybe we are not the only thing that is out here. Yes. Maybe there are other. We've been told other galaxies and universes, and maybe we're the inferior ones. We're the low vibrational ones, and there are other superior beings who are like, they are down in Earth.
7D.
Those
HD.
people are still 10 billion light years behind, and they are very light years ahead. And you see, so there's a lot to wonder. There's a
like
lot
the
to
theories
question.
of the aliens and stuff
And
like
the
that.
rest of it. So there's a
Yes.
lot to wonder. There's a lot to question. When you begin to think of it, kichwa tu itakuuma.
Yes, sasa Harrison Mumia, what do you make of that the things that you just can't explain how they happened, and the best explanation could be there's a superior being.
I mean, there are many things we can't explain. That is a fact.
But you never retreat that now this is not science, this is beyond science.
You see, for me, as I said earlier, the things which I can't explain, I will say I can't explain them.
And you don't know.
I don't know.
And you're not
Because, for
giving any
example,
opportunity
if
for
today
anybody
you
else to
turned
tell you.
into a snake,
Please don't use such kind of an example. Harrison, tumia example mzuri.
you remember in the book of in the Bible, you remember there was a time Abraham held a stick, and then there was a
It turned into a
turned into a snake.
Yes.
These things happen in the Bible, you know.
You use that example on me, but some of these things that Nangami is saying that you can't imagine, you can't fathom on how it actually happened. I love Mimi up, and I think I have a
So
whole
there are
future
two
before
ways
me.
of there are two ways of going about knowledge. If something happens, you can actually conclude and say there must be some external being or external force.
Yes.
Yeah. But you can also tell yourself, how did it happen? I would go with the how did it happen, and then ask myself, do I really know? Are there ways of me understanding how this happened? Because when you now when you now say that this is happening because of an entity, you know the danger of that is that so we have to ask, what is the nature of this entity? Do you know one of the debates about God is when you tell me you believe in God, I'll ask you, so who is God? What is the nature of God? You know, I posted something on Facebook and I was asking, is he lesbian? Is he gay? Is he straight? Is he... No, like does he have a gender? Right?
Yeah.
Like, is he
sexual orientation or something?
Does he have
like
an
that?
orientation? Because in the Bible he is referred to as him. All right. So are we certain? Then he calls. Then there's the other question is he human-like? So you remember when
But we are being created in his likeness,
image. So is he human-like in the sense that we are human? Does he exhibit exactly our characteristics, you know, as human beings? Or in what sense does he? So when I ask you who is God, most religious people will tell you we can't explain who God is. Why? Because God is a creation of people. It is people who created this God, and then they gave him characteristics. Yet still you ask them, do you know exactly who God is? They'll tell you, we are not, God is beyond us. Yuko mahali hata hatujui.
No, binguni, ako binguni.
Yani hata hatuwezi mfikia. So we challenge them and tell them, why can't God show himself to us? They'll tell you God is not that kind of person.
But he has through the Bible.
Yeah, but I mean, if God was there, I would be appreciate to have a podcast with him and you as the host, so that we just end this debate once and for all.
Hey,
What I'm trying to say is,
yes,
anybody can assert anything. Yeah, but we should not be so. How do I say it? We should not be. If we say that there is something outside there, then I think it is only fair for us to describe it, to explain its nature, to explain what kind of force is it, to also explain how it came about. Because remember, we are also asking, does that force have another force responsible for it? Which you know what that does? Yeah, because if we are going to we are going
so
to
you
go
don't want
on.
that to be the ultimate. There has
because
to be another, and probably another.
Yeah, the question
That
is,
vicious
do
circle
these
now.
forces also have other forces that are responsible for them? Because that argument then comes to what we call the infinite regress. The infinite regress is this idea, this concept, that if you think there is something responsible, so if A is responsible for B, then something must be responsible for A. You understand?
But no A is the alpha.
But if you say we are ending at A, then we have a problem there, because anybody can come and say, so where did A come from? So that is why sometimes I'm a bit skeptical with this idea that there are forces or there are powers out there, because we go into this problem of describing them and also explaining where did these powers come from. Unless we are also saying we go on and say these powers could be having other powers and the other powers. So how far back do we go? So for me, I think there are things we don't know.
Don't you think that they all end with God? Now we will say that, oh, this is responsible for this, but now with God, everything is complete there.
Yeah. This word God, there's no one God, by the way, in the world.
No, in your scholarly maybe research and all that, what does that word mean to you?
Again, just like I explained with regard to the idea of truth, there's no one concept of God. To me, I mean, I personally am an atheist. So the concept of God in the Judaistic religions, which is basically Islam and Christianity, those concepts, for me, God does not exist. That God who created the universe, created human beings, created everything, such a God for me
does not exist,
non-existent. So that's one side of it. But
maybe it does not exist here, or just does not exist entirely. Maybe here on earth.
Those gods of the Bible and the Quran don't exist. And you'd be surprised to know that in the Bible there's like no one God. There are several gods in the Bible. You remember the 10 Commandments? They say you shall not worship
other gods
other than
me.
And who is that saying?
I am who I am.
That's God saying.
Yes.
Yeah. So the question is, why would God want us not to worship another God? That means even God himself, the God of the Bible, knows we have other gods.
He acknowledges.
Yeah. So for me, there's no
but
one
maybe he
idea
acknowledges that you guys have made your own gods here, but don't worship those gods. God is cautioning you guys not to worship those gods. But
why would a God be so jealous? These are the things I normally ask. If you're a God, would you be jealous of other gods? So you create friendships with other gods and know what they're up to. If you're a God, why would you be...
What are you talking about? Why would Nangami delve into this one?
The concept of gods is a religious concept. It's a religious concept, number one. But two, also, the other cultures that also as other religions have gods, but they're man-made. They're man-made. That's why gods show up with human tendencies. They show up with human characteristics. A god is jealous. A god is speaking the human language. Can you imagine a whole creator of the universe that is all powerful, that is all knowing? And it is because when you look at the God, even the God of the Bible, the God and the devil are they're like twins. They're just like the same thing. Because we have always asked the question, God is omnipresent. That means he's everywhere. But so is the devil.
Yes, even the devil seems to be omnipresent.
Even the devil is everywhere. Even the devil seems to know everything.
But the devil is everywhere.
Yes.
Not the devil, then there are demons.
No, the devil is everywhere. Yeah. No, because the devil, if he's tempting me to say this, is also tempting someone else to do something wrong somewhere. At the same time right now. So that means that the devil is everywhere.
Yes.
And the devil is all knowing. That's why the devil is able to know my lust issues, is able to know my thievery
maybe
issues,
when you say
my greed issues, is able to know. The devil is able to know those things that I do have, especially those things that are dark about myself. When we go to that concept of gods and the devil, perhaps. But going back to the concept and to the idea of gods, we will always go back to the question, and that is why even the Buddhists, they don't have the concept of God, because then it becomes that loop that if there is a God, then there has to be something that is in charge of the God, and then it's just something that continues to perpetuate itself. So yeah, the concept of God is something that is, especially the Abrahamic religions, the creation story itself has two gods creating. Yeah.
Do you feel like the African spirituality has been tested enough to maybe explain how we came to be and stuff like that?
No.
Or
Spirituality
it doesn't have any business to do with
African spirituality doesn't care to explain the origin of human beings. We are here. How do we live with each other? How do we live with things that are around us? Yes. It's about you and me. It's about how we live. It's about... And you see, the thing about spirituality is that it doesn't claim to be universal, and it doesn't claim community. So you see, what I believe as an African spiritualist, I do not have to force Mumia to believe it. Unlike religion that has to be conversion, and that you have to believe that this is what I have. Because for me, it's individualistic. It's what I know, and then I practice what I know. I do my rituals, I do things, they work for me, and then I live life abundantly, then I die. It's that simple. Then if there's something that I need to
so
pass,
personal.
It's so personal. If it's something that I need to pass, I pass. And that is why even the concept and the idea of these ancestors we talk about, it's not something that is in everyone. It's just a few people who are able to do it, and those who take on the mantle, and those who take on the baton, and those who want to do it, they go ahead and do it. Those who have the psychic abilities, able to have that. It's not something that goes to everyone. It's not something that you have to understand how it works. Some of us even don't understand how some of the things work. We just know, don't go here, don't do this, don't talk to this person. If I was to explain it to you, I can't. I'm not able to explain it to you, and I don't want to explain it to you. In fact, I want people to continue staying in their ignorance. It's a good thing, so that I can hide in plain sight. So I can walk and do my thing. If I want to levitate, I just levitate. If I want to do that, what is it called? That thing that people do, astral projection. If I'm able to astral project, I'm just astral project in the night to siku do my thing. Nobody has to make. It doesn't have to make sense to anyone. It doesn't have to be tested. It doesn't have to be. You see, because it's not in the mood or in the desire to be mainstream.
So wanga mnashika kifagio hivi mnachapa no round.
Kama nataka kunyorosha.
Wewe mnafanya hivyo?
Nani?
Ni swali tunauliza. Unajua utakuwa
if it is possible, you say there are things that you don't know. And if it's possible for people to do such things, then they should be able to do it. But it doesn't, because you see something, the moment it is made mainstream, then it is subject to scrutiny. It's subject to testing. It's subject to understanding. And not everything is subject to that. Not everything has to be put in a laboratory and for everyone to come and investigate it. Because the moment you do that, it's because you want to prove its legitimacy so that you can make it... you can make it universal. African spirituality doesn't want to convert anyone. In fact, that's why it's called African spirit. It's just for us Africans. Melanated people, you want to do it, you don't want to do it, it is okay. It's not forced on anyone.
What are some of the advantages that comes with the African spirituality?
It's just identity. It's a sense of identity. You see, Africans have split identity. And thanks to religion. And that is why we always talk about this. We go and do our traditional weddings, then we go to church to do the main wedding because of the split identity. So we take part in the culture, and then we also take part in the religious bit. When it comes to burying someone, like I've always said, I think the last time is that they'll say, Nangami is not married, she doesn't have baby children, so we have to, she has to come through the window.
Yes.
Or if I didn't have children, now I died, they say women who have the age appropriate for having children cannot view my body because I was barren, I didn't have kids. You see, those are things we do in our funerals. Or they say, you see what they did with this Vihiga guy, what is his name? This one who died in a road accident in Naivasha coming to Nairobi. Forgotten his name. He died in his Mercedes, and they said he was in Karen, and then Jirongo, yes. And you see kina nani rushed to put a torch inside the casket before the church.
Nasikia imeanza kufanya kazi. Ama director vipi? Imeanza kufanya kazi ile torch. Imemulika watu. Nasikia from some reliable sources imemulika watu pale.
So you see, we still take part in culture, and then you see the church will take over and do the service. So we have split identity. So you ask, are we still performing our cultures, or are we religious? Because when we are in religion, we say tuko kwa Yesu, hizo vitu hatuwezi fanya, but still the church comes and takes over and does the thing. So we have that split identity as Africans. And then language and also names. So you see, the one thing that religion did the moment it got to the country or to the continent, we were stripped of our names. That's one of the things that religion does, is to strip you of your name, strip you of your identity.
Yes.
So you don't know who you are. So African spirituality, or at least our practices, is something that is supposed to bring you back to your identity. Know your name, know your language. Know
So
where
you
came
abandon
from.
Rachel, you say you are Nangami Namasakha.
Yes, and I think that
not
sounds
Rachel,
better. Yes, that sounds better.
So like me
it's
personally, I'm supposed. Okay.
so yeah, it's just about identity. You identifying yourself, and you see, even with other things, it's just about also how we live around, we live in nature, and the moral fabric of the society in our own ways, and also our Ubuntu. So yeah, those things.
Mumia, can science prove every human experience? She's spoken about some experiences where something happens in a hospital and nobody actually can explain that.
Yes.
Not even the doctors, not even those scientists. Do you think the science can explain every human experience?
The answer is no.
You just believe now in God. You've just said God exists.
The answer
without
is
saying
no, because and the no answer comes with a caveat that science is not about proving things. Science is about
It's about proving things.
It's not about proving things. Science is the process of acquiring, understanding the natural world.
Yes.
In science, a lot of scientists have been wrong about so many things. You know that.
In their attempt to prove.
In their not to prove, in the attempt to understand the workings of the natural world.
Okay.
Scientists are trying to find out how the world works. When we say that, for example, when you cannot exist without oxygen, somebody must have tested that and seen that oxygen is very important for our own existence.
Yeah, sure.
But that is not to say that now science has proven something. It has explained to us the relationship between oxygen, human beings, and life. So that's a good way of looking at science. Is there is something we don't know, we are trying to understand it. So when you ask me whether science can explain all experience, I don't think we'll ever get there, because there's so much we don't know. Remember again, we human beings, forget about even the world we live in. I've also told you we don't know so much about just the universe we live in. We don't know so much about the Milky Way we live in, even the solar system. The very sun that shines on us, a lot of light and warmth. We don't know how it operates really. So what I'm trying to say
somebody's
is
saying that it's made of hydrogen and some things like that.
Yeah,
when they were testing the hydrogen bomb. That lights.
No, they normally talk about there is this concept of hydrogen and helium. So what happens is hydrogen burns so hard that it becomes helium, and that produces the energy. But the point is this. We will never get to know about so many things. But I like what she said about, African spirituality is about Africans. And the idea is not to try and make everybody be an African spiritualist. And actually, now that she's talked about it, I want to take an interest in it. Because me, I'm a black person. And
I am too.
Black things should concern us. I mean, black in the sense of not like black. I'm definitely African, as in terms of the cradle of where I came from.
You're black. You might not just be as black as I am.
So I think we need to take an interest in who are we.
Okay.
How did we used to organize our lives before all this religion came in? How did we relate to nature? I think those are things which we need to have an interest in. And when I was growing up, I remember we used to pluck. My grandmother used to just know hii mti itakutibu hii ugonjwa.
Yeah.
Unaona?
And it used to work.
Na it used to work. Alikuwa tu anajua anachukua anagonganisha kwa nini. We used to have a relationship with nature.
Yes.
And we used to explain a lot, drought. We used to explain things like rain. We used to explain all these things. And we are losing I think we are losing a lot of the African history.
Okay.
Which to me is rather tragic. Things like names. My name is Harrison. I don't like the idea that my mom gave me an English name. In Kakamega, where I come from, that name is remote in every sense. There is no Harrison. There is no who Harrison is, you know. But we have names that don't have any relation with who we are as black people. And me, I
Like
think
Ronald,
we need
Justus.
the worst is Abednego. Somebody called Abednego.
Like that one is coming from Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. You know.
I'm called Abednego. Like what's wrong with you? But I think we really need to go back to, and that is why I'm encouraging.
You know, our social media specialist is called Obed. Are you also Abednego?
I hear very many names, and there are things we can correct. I wish the president of Kenya would make a proclamation where a proclamation doesn't have to be an order because it would be unconstitutional, you know.
Okay.
People would move to court like, I am not, my name is my name.
Yeah.
But just a proclamation that if you're getting a baby, jaribu kurestrict ikuwe tu jina kama we ni Mluya name hivyo tu, you know, it would really go a long
you can even
way.
attach some benefit to it, aseme watoto wenye wanaitwa Nangami Masakha ama your other name is
my name is Mumia, but
Mumia what?
Harrison
is
Nyende Mumia.
So now people like Nyende Mumia, Nangami Masakha are going to be getting SHA for free.
No, I think what he needs to do, because definitely things like naming can be challenged in courts as an affront on your own, identity and all that.
Just attaching some benefit. As unasema tu mimi mwenyewe ndawalipi, si ati amlipi, ni serikali tu inawalipia.
No, just a proclamation. And I think African presidents should also stop having this even the way we dress, wearing suits, nini. Me, I think we need to...
I like the way Maponga puts it, that you go to church and you have to first of all be a European. You turn into a European first of all to be accepted. So if you came to church and you came with the sisal, then there is a problem. I hosted a Rastafarian here someday. If that Rastafarian appeared in church that way, in that, which is actually not now a European kind of a dress code, then he is not acceptable to even appear on the altar. Yeah. So now, what do you make of this kind of culture that that we seem like we've lost our identity completely, and we, in one way or the other, we just seem to rely on the European culture on almost everything.
There are a few bits about us that we should...
Yes, on that question, I want also to merge it with that, there's something that you say that Africans have cheated on their ancestors. Merge the two. Yes.
As Africans, we do not have a sense of identity. So our identity comes from the West.
Yes.
A lot. And so most of the times, if the things have not been rubber-stamped by the West,
yes,
like several years from today, the West will come and say that, oh, by the way, you see, let me give you an example. This thing around not just meditation, but this thing around, oh, you are one with everything. Like now it has become mainstream spirituality, consciousness, you're one with everything. Like our ancestors already knew that. You see, our ancestors didn't need to know the 12 laws of the universe for them to know that they could bend reality. They didn't need to understand the 12 laws of the universe.
Yes.
They didn't need to understand the Hermetic principles.
Okay.
They just knew that if I need to call on rain, and I think there's someone who did a very nice documentary of how the Samburu women called rain in the Maasai land, and they actually did call rain.
Yes.
And how even in our villages sometimes you can have an old man just sat in a corner and he's able to hold the rain, and you can see that it's raining on the other side, and then once this place it's done, you're done with the event, once we leave it pours like nobody's business.
Yes.
We call those people during events, weddings or whatever. So you see, that is knowledge that was not put in books. So because we don't have reference. You see, the good thing about Plato, Socrates, Nietzsche, they put things in books, so we always go back and
make reference.
Yes, and make reference. We can always read, but they did not put that down. So nowadays you hear people say, you're one with nature, you're one with everything, you're one with the sun, you're one. Even science is coming to say, oh, by the way, things that are found in the body are also found like in the sun and whatever. Because now they are rubber stamping it. But our ancestors already knew that's why they walked barefoot, because nowadays the white person will come and tell you, oh, you have to walk barefoot. We're like, oh, but we used to do that. No, it was savage at the time. And they understood why that was very important, why we are black and we live in this part of the world. You see, then those are conversations, and that is knowledge that was lost because it wasn't preserved in books, at least for the most part. Now, were they perfect? Obviously not, because today not everyone in society is perfect. We have people who are, you know, just wayward and doing their things, but the same way we have like the monks who are trying to live a certain kind of lifestyle, and the rest of it just getting some indigenous knowledge and something. I'm so sure that each and every one of us here, sometimes you can sit with yourself and there's information that comes and you know, this I didn't read. It's like a download. We're like, I'm smart. I am smart. And this I didn't read in a book. I didn't hear anywhere. But I'm speaking and you can tell, where did I get this? And now people will say, oh, maybe it's a download or maybe it's something. And you see, now from our own perspective, we don't have any reference to go or to it and research and find that. Now, back to the other question where you're talking about how we have shit on our ancestors, is that, you see, it is all about remembering who we are. And remembering where we came from and what we have had to go through for us to get here. When we talk about colonization, we talk about slavery and all of those things that happened, the inhumane things that happened to this continent. And people are walking around calling us savages and saying, oh, you know, we were wild and that we needed some taming and that, you know, we were the children, I don't know, of Ham, and that is why we were cast, and that is why, first of all, we were burnt. And people don't even understand how things came to be. Like, if you were to look at the story of Mormonism and how they view the Africans, it's like, you know, we were like the devil's children, and that's why we appeared burnt and black and dark like this. Like, even the story about the SDA church and how it came to be, if you look at the history of it, it's a very dangerous one, you know. And so all of these things, and appreciating just where we came, because there are people who walked so that we can walk, there are people who ran so that we can run, there are people who set the precedence and the stage the same way we are doing it right now for civilization to continue. I may not have 10 children, but there's someone who is having those children who are going to continue humanity and civilization. And it's just good to appreciate those who have gone before us, because for me there are certain privileges that I enjoy today that are just courtesy of my genetics. I was speaking to, I usually like to refer to Rono, Debbie Rono. I met Rono. Like, Rono is huge. She's like tall and she's big. So I was telling Rono, I met her and I said, Rono, look at me and then look at yourself. And I'm older than you, but this mountain of a person that you are is just courtesy of your genes. You're just born in the right family that can have these tall genes, and some of us now we have to wear heels for us to have it. Or maybe you're just born in a family of athletes, and now look at you, you start practicing small like this, you're already running, you're earning millions. Just, you don't have to speak good English, you don't need to have completed school, but there you are, you're making money, courtesy of just being born in the right family. Or basketball players. Basketball players, you're just like, genetics already blessed you. I would even give an example of yourself as someone who trains public speakers. There are certain men who cannot be good public speakers because they are not built, like, they cannot be respected. So you see, for you have the build, you have the voice.
You did? So you can say that again, man.
You have the build and you have the voice. There are people who have to go for training. Because it's a thing. So for public speakers, I'll mention public speakers. I'll mention Tony Robbins. I'll mention Vusite Bekwayo. Like, when you listen to them, when you look at them, or even someone like Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Even to your surprise, Walubengo is 23 years.
Yes, and you've seen how big he's big.
Lakini Walubengo nilikupigia simu huko kushika simu yangu wewe mluya wewe.
So you see, that in itself is a thing. It matters. So those are things that it's just the gift of your genes. It's just the gift of where you're born. And so there's certain people who, when they, like, if Jeff Koinange was to walk into this restaurant, even if he wasn't Jeff Koinange, people would notice him.
Yes.
Because number one, his voice.
He commands the space.
He takes space.
Yes.
And he didn't do anything to acquire that. He didn't have to do anything to acquire that. It came just through the blood. The way I was telling you about basketball players, like, you just come, you're born, and today you're 6'5". Someone is 6'4". What did you do? Where did you pray? Nothing. You didn't do anything. You just got the genetic inheritance. Yes. Where do you get this genetic inheritance? From the people who have gone before you. So there are certain things, the benefits that we enjoy today, that are courtesy of our bloodline. And you see, people like the white people, People still celebrate Christopher Columbus. Christopher Columbus was doing the things that he was doing, the genocides and what, in the name of God, because he was saying that Jesus Christ is coming soon and that they have to save people.
Imagine this Belgium guy in Congo.
And Leopold. And all the things that they
King
were
Leopold,
doing.
the second World War.
Have you seen the white people ashamed?
They're not ashamed.
They're not walking around saying our ancestors are very wicked. They are evil.
Why is it that he's not categorized as the same
Hitler.
group as Hitler?
So is Hitler. Even Hitler, when you talk about Hitler is so bad and Hitler is, have you seen the Germans talking about, oh, by the way, you know, our ancestors during Hitler's period, those who say, because most of the Germans believed in what Hitler was saying. But there are not so many Germans who are sitting and say, we don't want to be associated. No, they know that this country was built by our forefathers who had to do whatever it is that they had to do for us to get here. The same thing happened with the United States. And as I wind up, our ancestors fought for us to retain this continent. If they didn't fight, we would have been like the Native Americans.
Yes.
The Native Americans don't own America. People wake up and think white America is for the whites. It was always for the natives. But at least for us, we are not like the Aboriginals of Australia or the Native Americans of America. At least we got to maintain. Yes, we have problems, we have issues, we have corruption, but this is our own continent. Because people decided that this continent is not going to the dogs.
Yeah, sure. Harrison Mumia, as we are winding down.
Yeah.
Huh? Should it happen that we're able to explain to you the supernatural powers today? Will you believe in God and hopefully maybe later on in Jesus Christ?
Actually, we don't need an in between. If you have, as the host, if you have a good relationship with God, kindly, invite him here. The point for me has been that.
But you can't feel the presence.
This idea.
You can't feel the presence of God right now.
No. This idea that somebody, and we've talked about it, this idea that there has to be a mediator between you and a deity, that somebody has to be an in-between. And this is a problem I have with pastors. We have asked the question as atheists, why should somebody explain that another being exists? And this question goes to the core of existence. If something exists, if there is a God, then we need to be able to experience the God in a way that no mediator, and we should not even have debates on why Islam, why Christianity, vitu kama hizo. But I think let me just also talk about what Masaka said. I do think that it's good to have if you look at the Chinese, I like how the Chinese are, they have preserved a lot of who they are, and including names, language, and things like that. We are not. She talked about Nisha. Nisha wrote a book. We are reading it. I think what's happening in Africa, we are not documenting a lot. Just ask yourself: do you know your great grandfather, how he used to look?
I don't even.
Do you even know where he was buried? Do you know how they used to live around 200 years ago?
No,
your ancestors.
We don't.
But if you ask an African to talk about 1800s Europe,
yes,
they will tell you everything.
Yes.
They will even tell you about 1700 Europeans.
Yes.
That there was this person, huyu mwingine alifanya hivi. In Africa, do we know who did what? We don't. So I think documentation of, and also, storytelling and documentation, we need to really, we are losing a lot of who we are, who we have been. And that is why things like even naming, we take it for granted that you can call me Harrison and it's acceptable, when in fact it has nothing to do with my past and where I'm coming from.
Yes.
Yeah. So documentation is very important.
Very important.
Preservation of our identities in terms of how we used to live. That needs to be preserved. So that we don't lose everything to new cultures, everything to new beliefs, everything to new knowledge, which is the reason why right now it's a shame that when you have a debate with a Christian, he can even
becomes very violent.
Anaweza atamka aondoke because it's like, this guy is a devil worshipper. The idea of the concept of the devil for me does not exist. But a Christian...
So you also don't believe that a devil exists?
No, devils don't exist. But for a Christian, he already has a concept of a devil that is not even his own concept. It is what he has grown up being told.
Okay.
Then he comes and actually puts it on me. Mumia ni wewe ndio shetani ndio yuko ndani yako. Anakuambia. So I think we really have a lot of we have a lot of things to work on.
Yes.
And I think that's why I appreciate this kind of conversations.
Yeah, I think that becomes a very, very convenient point to put this to an end. Except if Madam Nangami, you might be having something to close with, but I think it's a very, very convenient point for us to maybe wind down the conversation. We'll be having this one from time to time. I think it's something very, very nice to awaken the people in our society with the different alternative thoughts. I had a thought that I would have invited a pastor. Alafu mseme hizi vitu mnasema hapa sasa pastor akiwa hapa. So I'm going to organize that as soon as practical, so that we can also be able to have that conversation. That
now I'd encourage you to invite everybody. This conversation cannot even...
No, I'll invite a pastor
we
with us
a
here.
Lot of people.
That's what I mean. That we are like this, then now a fourth person now
Wacha
comes
wakuje, wacha wakuje. What I'm saying is, let those who are of a different opinion join this conversation.
Yes.
This country and Africans will only make progress when we have these very serious conversations about these things.
Yes.
Because we've only had, I grew up as a Christian, not because I was born and told make a choice between Christianity and something else.
Yes.
It's just because my mother, my father, they were Christians.
Yes.
It's only that when I grew up and I looked at Christianity, then I said it doesn't make sense for me.
Religion itself in totality did not make sense to you.
It doesn't make sense. Religion doesn't make sense.
How did you grow up, Nangami, yourself from your side?
Yes, I grew up in a Christian home, but good thing is my parents were not that religious.
Your parents were not that
they were not that religious. So they were seasonal church goers. I think my father used to go to church during funerals.
They were seasonal church goers.
Yes, during funerals, that is when you'll be in the church. My mother used to go to church, but even when I went to high school, I remember she told me, just do everything in moderation. This thing is not a matter of life and death. Just don't. Okay. Yeah, I think she...
Oh, your mom told you that, eh?
Yeah, she said if you have to do anything, just do it in moderation. Don't... Because she knew high school is where CU and all those things take you. And now you start to become very filled with the spirit. And it's like, no, don't get there. You don't have to do that. So at least it's something that has helped me a lot in my journey. They are very open-minded.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of parents are supposed also to be so open-minded and always look at this thing from different angles, mostly for the very benefit of the kids. I'm not saying that watu wakuwe atheist ama watu wakuwe spiritualist ama watu wakuwe nini. Mimi nasema tu wazazi, sikizeni watoto wenyu. So, members of the public, this has been a great actually moment that we've had. We've had an interesting conversation about questioning the sacred beliefs. I don't think it happens so often in this part of the world. We've done it, and I believe that this kind of conversations will be so fruitful, and running into the future, we are planning of making the panel even bigger so that we can be able to expand this conversation from time to time. Allow me to see you on the